fairly quick to resize here because we don't have too much time. But the plan was Penryn Island and the Cook Islands, and it was looking really good for the first part of the trip. This is leaving Fanning. We were making good weather to get down to Penryn because it was slightly east of our due south one. And about halfway there, the winds just turned and we were just beating. And we were beating, and we finally said, enough of this nonsense. As a hitchhiker. And so we fell off and decided to go to Sugarloaf instead. We would drag a line every once in a while and catch some tuna. So that's basically the course we're looking from Fanning Island, close to Christmas Island. And this is where we wanted to go, but this is where we ended up. And it was a great detour. And it's, as you know with sailing, you got to go with the flow. Sugarloaf, or Suwado, as some people pronounce it, is a little atoll, and it's a park. It's protected. There's nobody living there. This is coming in through the pass. Vera was steering. He was up in the Ratlins checking for coral, and I was running back and forth doing whatever. And this is a little map of it. You come in through the pass and Anchorage Island right here. And that's basically, there's several other places where you can anchor as well. The island's quite famous for Tom Neal's book, An Island to Oneself. This is the hermit that lived there by himself for many years, and his old house is actually still there. This is Papa John, and he was the caretaker, and just an amazing man. Papa John is in his 70s here, and he was there with his nephew Baker and his grandson Toto. The three of them there would welcome us. And as we came in, motoring in through the pass, Toto was on his drum, drumming us in. He would do that for the cruisers. He'd get out on the shore and play drums, and then they would greet us when we came ashore. And it was very informal. He was supposed to do all the paperwork for getting us into the Cook Islands as far as customs and everything. And there wasn't much for paperwork. He basically said, just whenever, we'll do it sometime. And then had us fill out everything. Basically we did our own paperwork. And he just sort of put his John Henry on there. And we'll tell you later, that did lead to a bit of problems down the road. And we'd have feasts. Every few nights there would be feasts. Papa John and Baker and Toto would get crabs and fish, and all the cruisers would come and there'd be a potluck. And it was lots of fun there. And he taught us all kinds of things, and we're pleased to have him on board as well. But in the mornings, a couple of times we went out fishing with him, and half an hour in the pass and you'd catch all this. And it was just amazing. Yeah, it was all hand lining. And boy, some of these there were a couple of barracudas and the big tunas it drag you from one end of the boat to the other, but lots of fish. It was just amazing. And birds. The island is a bird sanctuary. And the birds were everywhere. Thousands. And this just, you can't capture the amount of birds that are there. They're nesting, they're boobies and terns and frigate birds. And Toto, at one point, grabbed one of the little chicks and brought it to show to Lyra. And unfortunately, yeah.
I had a little pet bird named Motu, and he was with us for a long time, and his best took care of him, as a companion. He got a while.
Yeah, because I said that since he took it away from his mom, now his mom's going to reject it, so we have the responsibility of looking after the bird. Fortunately, after a while, many weeks, he did survive. But, fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know. Here's Papa John he took us out for a picnic. We'd take the little skiff and go out to one of the motus, and all he brought with him was a machete and a couple of matches. And he would go digging in underneath in the bush for coconut crabs. And these are crabs that have these huge claws that will take your hand off. And there he is reaching in, grabbing, taking these things out. He knows how to do it. He's been doing it for years. And this is a man that could dive. When he was younger, he could free dive to 100 feet. In the 70s, he was only doing 40 to 60 feet. And climbing coconut trees like nothing. He's got a scar from a tiger shark, and he told us about how to deal with sharks. But anyways, he would, with just the machete, we'd go out in the bush and have a feast. You'd get the coconut crabs and coconut, and we'd have this amazing feast. Yeah, there's some of the coconut crabs. And here he's...
he's a well-known medicine man throughout the Cook Islands, and so he makes special medicines using all the elements, and he shares all his knowledge. So he's this incredible soul. He's a kind of legendary in the Cook Islands because he just gives all of his knowledge. He doesn't keep anything back. And the stories about the sharks. So we were sitting with him one day and we were talking about swimming with the sharks. They're everywhere around the boat. And he says, if the shark comes, you make the noise. He said, well, Papa John, what noise? You go like this. You close your, you go down underwater. It's this deep guttural thing. So I checked cute stories. And no, he's done it. And when he was swimming as a young man, the tiger sharks were coming, and they made the sound. And the reef-tip sharks made a curtain of sharks between him and these oncoming tiger sharks. I mean, that's a great story. So, anyways, we went out diving, and Lyra and Stephen are getting the sharks coming. This little tiger shark's coming to, or this little reef-tip shark is coming too close to them. And so I experiment with the sound, and sure enough, the shark goes and takes off. Because they were really upset with me because they wanted to play with the shark. But later on, when we were actually diving in the pass, and there's all these grays came up, and it was a bit scary because they were coming really, really close. And being the protective mother, I grabbed my daughter and put myself between them and her and throw her on the reef, and she starts to bleed, which was probably not a good thing. And so somebody makes a sound, and in comes a ray between us and the shark and drives it off. And this happened 2 consecutive times. Every time we would do this sound, something would come in and get between us and the shark. So maybe there's something in that story.
Yeah, some of the legends and stories from the islands out there, especially to deal with the sharks, are quite amazing. So here you can see the sewing again. Definitely a good skill to have, repairing sails for other cruisers. There's some more of the feast. But if you get the chance to read the book about Fanning Island, it's a story written by, in the 1930s, he was the British, can anyone help me out on this one?
Well, we got with an Ellis Island fishing center you had.
Yeah, what was it, the name of it? Anyways, brain's going, but the stories and the legends of, and sharks and how the islanders would swim with the sharks, and in the Solomon Islanders and some of their stories about the sharks are their ancestors and how they treat them. It blows your mind, actually.